Okay, so here we are, and welcome to another Inspired Good Fat Life podcast. And I'm really, really excited about my guest today because knowing her has made my life more inspired and easier. We'll get to her in just a moment. First, I just have to remind you that you can go to goodfatlife.com and see all the really cool things that are happening here at Good Fat Life. We have a new magazine coming out this month, and we have a really fun workshop coming out in October. So that said, I'm ready to introduce my guest. She's Donna Lorenz, and she has been working with Pampered Chef for
30 years this month.
30 years this month. Oh my gosh, how the time flies, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
but then when you figure everything that's happened in those 30 years, yeah, it's been 30 years.
Okay. All right. Well, so we'll dig into that a little bit more. So one of the things at Good Fat Life that we really, it's really part of our DNA, who we are, is eating good fat. It all starts with good fat, right? And along with that is taking really exquisite care of ourselves. And part of that, taking good care of ourselves, is making our lives easier, right?
Absolutely.
And so Donna she has provided me with equipment and recipes and ideas that have really made my life easier. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. So Donna, why don't you just give us a little bit about your journey with Pampered Chef?
Oh, gosh.
And for the past 3 years, it's 30 years, right?
Yeah. Well, when I first started, I was going to do it for 6 months because we were new to Michigan. We had lived in South Africa for a couple of years, and I decided my kids were old enough I could get a job, and I was going to do this for 6 months and then get a real job.
Okay.
And it turned out to be the dream job that I was looking for. You know, you can work 20 hours a week and become an executive director if you keep at it and persistent and that sort of thing. And that happened, and you can make it what you want it. When I got my first grandchild, then I kind of cut back quite a bit and helped with the grandchild during the day because parents are both teachers. And then I acquired another grandchild, and so it's a good gig. We've traveled a lot with Pampered Chef and all over the world, so it's been good.
Did you always love to cook?
Yes.
Yes, because so my husband and I, full disclosure, when we go to the Lorenz's house for food, my husband always says we're going to a 5-star restaurant, and he's right. It is right. We never know what we're going to get, but we always know it's going to be delicious and an adventure. So you always love to cook.
Yes.
And so this really kind of fit into that.
It did, and I like to talk, and it's interesting how one's career, one's life takes shape. You start. I was an anthropology major, cultural anthropology, because I think the most interesting thing in the world are the people in it, and so you meet all kinds of people in marketing, because I was in marketing until I had my kids. And then I was stay at home for a while. Since COVID, however, a lot of people are, they have an at-home business and they're completely online. And so like everything, there's just tons of ways that you can have a Pampered Chef business.
Make things work.
I think it's probably the same with all of the direct sales companies out there.
Yeah. You can do online
virtual,
stuff. Yeah.
Virtual, online. Yeah.
So,
it's great.
So tell me about, so one of the things why I wanted you to come on the show and talk about some of the things that you've shown me and learned is you've really given me some tools to make my life easier. So first of all, let's talk about the air fryer, because the air fryer is amazing. And, if you ask my husband, nobody needs another thing on their counter. So why is the air fryer Why has it made your life easier? And also made your life easier to get good fat.
Why does it make my life easier?
Yeah. So,
oh my
so
gosh.
what?
Well,
I mean, the air fryer makes life so much easier. And like I said, it's another thing on the counter, which lots of people don't like. But the ease is so much. I mean, there's so many benefits.
Well, it's not an ugly piece of equipment.
Right. That's true.
It does take up, a little bit of room. But I think, the benefits, you can cook more healthfully in an air fryer and more quickly. There are so many things. What would you like to know?
So, well, like we got this CSA, from the organic farm, and I put beans, green beans,
yep.
With olive oil on them, which is great, good fat, right? And threw it in the rotisserie basket. And actually, I ate the whole darn thing myself. And then my grandkids are visiting, so I made another one when they got here, and they ate them all.
Did they like them?
They absolutely loved them. It was just funny. You could just see they just kept reaching. It was like even better than French fries, grabbing the new one. And so we do things with sweet potatoes.
Yep.
Sweet potatoes, and make sweet potato fries and sweet potato toast. And I'm just in awe of the really good, healthy food we've been making in the air fryer, and it's so dang easy.
Oh, yeah. And there's fun stuff, too. You can, with our particular air fryer, it comes with many different accoutrements. And one is a rotisserie. You can make your own rotisserie chicken, which is pretty amazing. And you can also stick a whole pineapple on there after you've peeled it, of course. Put some, not such good butter, fat.
Oh, you can use ghee or just butter. Butter's
ghee,
good fat. Yeah.
Ghee, yes. And cinnamon, little sugar, and 20 minutes in the air fryer. And it's a delightful dessert, pretty healthful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You get all that
zucchini
great fiber.
fries, Brussels sprouts are amazing in the air fryer. The outer leaves get crunchy, and people that don't typically like Brussels sprouts, decide, well, they're not all that bad, with a little olive oil and garlic, salt and pepper.
Right. And I think that's what I've loved. It's made it so easy to eat really well. To eat clean and
more vegetables.
And more vegetables, clean. And although it makes killer wings.
Oh, yes.
They are delicious. But it's made it so easy. You just throw olive oil on anything,
right.
Or some coconut oil, and you've got your good fat and vegetables.
Right.
Right?
What I love about the wings is because I just use a dry rub and put them in there, and I don't spray them with olive oil or anything. And the amount of grease that's in the drip pan is amazing, and it's not in the wing anymore.
Right. So you get the delicious wing, and
right, and not nearly as much fat. I mean, we don't make a habit of it, but my husband does get a hankering now and again.
Oh, so. Hey, we do too. My 5-year-old granddaughter can eat more wings than all of us together, which just cracks me up. Exactly. So the air fryer is amazing. The other thing I'm absolutely in love with, and it's because of this book. So I told my dad that it's time to do some real deep research around belly fat. How do you get rid of belly fat? And after researching this book, Zero Belly Smoothies is what he sent me. And I'm like, Dad, is this for real? Really? And there's a lot of evidence here that these smoothies really do help with belly fat and also with getting good fats into us every day. And the thing I like about it is it's so stinking easy. You can make a really high quality smoothie. And here again is one of my Pampered Chef favorite things is the blender.
Cooking blender.
Cooking blender. Thank you for that clarification, because it makes the most delicious soup on the planet. Squash soup, pumpkin soup in the fall.
Well, the thing is you put everything in raw. And the beauty of our particular tool, our blender it has a heating element in it, and it gets it up to 212 degrees, and you watch it boiling in the blender. It has a glass bowl or container, and so that makes ours kind of unique. So you can actually cook in it.
Oh, and it is so easy, and it's so much fun, like you say.
Oh, yeah.
You put the raw ingredients in the blender, you hit the button, and in what, 20 minutes?
20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, you have soup.
You have the most delicious, freshest homemade soup really on the planet. So, and in fact, I just ordered some pumpkin seeds
To go on top of the soup. Have you tried the broccoli cheddar soup?
No, I haven't.
It's good.
Oh,
it's good.
There you go, another one. And the other thing, like we were talking about, and we'll talk in just a second of some of the things that you've done, the hacks to get more good fat into the recipes to swap them out. But with this zero belly smoothies, the recipes are delicious and they're really easy. They're, almond milk, pumpkin pie spice, plant-based protein, which is really important to this author, and for lots of nutritious reasons. There we go. I don't know if that's a word. But with the blender comes a smoothie maker. And so I just have found that to be within 5 minutes, I can have a really delicious smoothie and good to go, right? And full of good fat and fiber and protein and all the things that go with it. And so it's just made my life so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's just but I guess the point I really want to make, a couple of things, is when we have the tools in place that work and work really well, there's no hassle, there's no stress involved, and they clean up beautifully. Yeah. And you can control. So much of this is controlling the ingredients that we use.
Yep.
So that said, tell us some of your favorite hacks about getting more good fat into your recipes.
Well, let's see. Well, so we all know that mayonnaise is pretty tasty, but it's also pretty not terribly good for you and very high fat, and not necessarily
the good fats.
Whatever.
Right. And we're talking about store-bought mayonnaise.
Store-bought mayonnaise.
Right.
Yeah,
and salad dressings. Yeah.
Correct. So if you want to make chicken salad or tuna salad or salmon salad or any kind of salad, you take a fresh ripe avocado, and mash it up and get it nice and mashed up and use that in place of the mayonnaise. But in addition, you want to add some lemon juice to kind of give it that little tang that mayonnaise has, salt and pepper, celery, whatever else you put in your, tuna and chicken salads and what have you. That's my favorite thing to do. It's you just feel much better about eating your tuna salad if you know that it has a healthy fat in it.
And it's a really good, or a salmon salad, or like you said, chicken salad. And those are things that are so easy to kind of make up and have to go.
Right. Well, and when you're baking, you can substitute 1 for 1. If your recipe calls for a half a cup of butter, you can substitute a half a cup of mashed ripe avocado in place of the butter. And this is in cake recipes, cookie recipes, any of those kinds of things.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
And did you know that I think it's this week is National Avocado Day? Which just cracked me up. So Donna had sent out an email with some recipes celebrating National Avocado Day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we have to celebrate this, right?"
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that you could do that in your baking.
Sure. Well, you know how people substitute applesauce for butter or oil or whatever. You can do it with avocado just as well, and you get your good fat in there, which is, good for reducing cholesterol and good for blood pressure and your skin and all that sort of thing.
And your brain health.
And your brain health. Yep.
Yeah, and then the list goes on and on.
Yep.
So that's the one thing I just have always admired. I admire so much about you is that you always inspire me in ways that's like, oh my gosh. Because I love to cook, and it takes time.
Yeah. So did you make the vegetable ratatouille last night?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We're going to do
Okay.
it tomorrow. And yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow with wings.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds good. That's what we had with it.
Yeah, that's what we're going to have. But it's that we need those easy things.
Yeah.
And that are fun, though, and inspired, because I know, I can't tell you how good just even these smoothies I feel. My days have been long and kind of unpredictable, but I just feel even, because when you get that good fat, you just feel even, tempered. There's no mood swings.
And it's more, it has a satiety value. You're not hungry for a long period of time. Yeah.
I can go 6-7 hours with just one smoothie and before I'm hungry. And then when I'm hungry, I'm legitimately hungry, and that feels good to be hungry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyways, well, I really want to thank you for your time today and for sharing some of your secrets that have been in 30 years in the making, right?
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So it's and you know, it's the tools, and then also being one of the things I think we love doing together is experimenting.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
And so far I don't think we've had any real fails.
Nope, not yet.
Nope, not yet. No, you have a good eye for stuff. So, and I want to just take a moment and just do a little shout out for one of our sponsors, Snedicor's Cleaners. So I'm going to be traveling this next week, and I realized that I didn't have some of my clothes that I want to be wearing on my adventures ready to go. And so tomorrow I will be texting on my app to Snedicor that I need a same-day turnaround, which is wonderful. I put the bag out on my doorstep, and it will come home tomorrow night, pressed and ready to go for my trip. And there's something wonderful about knowing there's no stress around my packing. So that's just a really nice thing to go. A nice thing to have, also for self-care. For making my day easier, right?
Yep.
So anything that makes my day a little easier is a good thing.
They do a good job.
Yeah, so thank you to Snedicor's Cleaners for being there and with your amazing service and like concierge services. I really appreciate it. So that said, do you have any like last little bit of advice for somebody who's wanting to get more good food in their day easily?
Don't be afraid to experiment. And there's a lot of information on Google. You can Google lots of information that way, and
or you can read Good Fat Life magazine.
Or you can. That's the best way.
There you go.
That's the best way.
There you go. And we'll be featuring some of Donna's favorite avocado recipes in this next issue, and I hope in issues to come. So on that, I just invite us all. Thanks again for being here, and let's all go out and live our good fat life.